How are we doing, Creative Morning? Let's make some noise. Fantastic. Wonderful. For those who do not know, I am Amina Brown. Actually, I'm not. I'm not Amina Brown. My name is Adon Bean, and I am your guest host for filling in for our wonderful Atlanta chapter host. How many people is this your very first time coming out to Creative Morning? Let me see. So, okay. All right, it's dark out there, but I can make out some hands. That is wonderful. We want to welcome you. We want to thank you so much for being here. We're so excited that you decided to get up at an ungodly hour and spend it with some good folks. I want to let you know off rip that this is a volunteer-led initiative, okay? So no one is getting paid out here. We are absolutely doing this just because we want to do this. And so if you have been out here and you've watched what's been going on out here and you're like, you know what? I would love to donate my time and not get paid to do some things. We'd love to have you. We would very much welcome you, okay? We definitely want to exploit people. No, we definitely want people to come out here and give their best. So if you would like to, by all means, you can hit us up on our socials. That is our Instagram at Atlanta_CM. You can hit us up, send a DM, let us know what you can do. If you have design work, if you absolutely want to do some admin work, if you juggle, we'll find a way to use you in any way possible. Also, to let people know, we are at the halfway point already this year, right? Give that a round of applause. We have a lot of very interesting and amazing events coming up, lined up, and so you can stay tuned on our social handles and our newsletter to stay up with the latest, greatest. For this morning, for this event, you can use the hashtag, hashtag Atlanta_CM. That is the local hashtags to connect with people and to see what has been happening here. Also, and to document it, also the global hashtag is hashtag CM Reverie, CM Reverie. I before E, except after C, y'all know how to spell that. So we are so excited. We definitely want to do some, I've got some announcements, some things before we get this whole thing started. We want to shout out Caffeine and our coffee partner, if we could make some noise for hot coffee. Absolutely. We are so greatly appreciative for Hot Coffee, for providing the coffee this morning. Hot Coffee is a Black woman-owned coffee company, and absolutely, we would love it if they would, if you would please visit their newly opened location, Bankhead Coffee Bar, and that is at the corner of Northside and Donald Lee Howell. That is Bankhead Highway for those of us who have been here for a minute. They are a West Side coffee shop serving premium, single-origin Ethiopian, Central, and South American coffee provisions. You can learn more by visiting their website at lovehotcoffee.com and following them on their socials at lovehotcoffee. So yes, let's give another round of applause for Hot Coffee. Also, we want to shout out all of those really great and wonderful breakfast tacos we had. Make some noise for Little Ray, our food partner for the month of June. We just want to thank them for providing the breakfast. You can absolutely learn more about what they offer if you go to www.littleray.com and stay in touch with them there for sure. Eat all that goodness. Yes, and some of you might be asking the question, because I know there were a few people who raised their hands, but you might not know what you've shown up for, and that is completely fine. This is absolutely a marketing scheme, like a multi-level marketing program. That's what that's what we're doing here. So we're selling Amway, Tupperware, whatever you got, like. You didn't know this, so 5 links, we got it all. Anyway, no, absolutely. Creative Mornings, if you did not know, it is not just happening here in Atlanta. It is something that is happening in cities all over the world. There are only over 200 chapters hosting monthly events on the same theme, full of creative people just like you, just like me. And so if you are just visiting Atlanta for the first time and you made your way here, or if you're traveling in the future, you can absolutely go to creativemornings.com to see if there's a chapter near you. This month's theme is Reverie. Yes, Reverie. And, oh yeah, that looks so beautiful. Yes, give a round of applause for the illustration by Eduardo Guerrero. So when your gaze softens around the edges, where does your mind travel? What thoughts arise unbidden? Reverie beckons us to dream while awake, spinning loose associations that seem to emerge from somewhere not entirely inside or outside of you. Our wool gathering summons past memories and nascent fantasies. We turn them over and over like smooth stones in our hand, making meaning. And so this was actually chosen by our Omaha chapter. And so we're so excited about this month's theme and what we have going on. Before we get too far into that, we definitely want to shout out our global partners. And we are in the wonderful case of being based here in Atlanta, where our global partners is also our local partners. So please, if you could, make a round of applause for MailChimp. MailChimp has been so good to us. How many entrepreneurs do we have in the building? A few? Yeah? Okay, yes. I see the hesitation in acknowledging that. That's how you know you're really an entrepreneur, absolutely. Who wants to really claim that? It's so tough. But we all know the importance of creating content for business these days. What you may not realize is it's not just about the content you post, but it's also about the strategy behind it. Our long-standing partner, MailChimp, has got you covered with tools and steps designed for you to learn how a content strategy is a powerful way to reach existing and new customers and help you create your thoughtful plan. So again, if you would, give a round of applause for MailChimp. They've been so good to us. And yet again, also want to shout out Off the Record, okay? We want to give a round of applause to Off the Record because they are an amazing video partner. If you've been watching anything, you could actually give those round of applause right now, like while I'm talking, because we're so grateful for Off the Record. They've been so good to us. If you've seen any of the visuals that have been captured, if you're watching, if it's been the live stream, or if you've seen anything throughout the pandemic, they've really held us down. They always make us look so good and crispy. They have a remarkable and wonderful crew to work with. So if you have video needs for a fee, okay? They can make you look amazing, right? Like if you don't want to pay the fee, you're not going to look amazing. Like that's how that's related. But Off the Record is a content creation and storytelling studio in Atlanta, Georgia, making space for disruptors, innovators, artists, and creatives who give a damn, okay? Because organic, fresh, preservative-free. I love that. Make another round of applause for Off the Record. How we doing? We all right? I just read a lot of things, and it's too early to read a lot of things, you know what I mean? So if y'all could just give, on the count of three, we're just gonna give a collective breath. Just 1, 2, 3, just exhale. Oh, that's good. And you know what? Good morning breath, too. I can smell it from here. You guys are doing wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited about what we have coming up first. For this morning, I'm excited to introduce kind of our artists in residence. So David Perdue is an Atlanta comedian who has appeared on Comedy Central, Fuse TV, Epix, and Kevin Hart's LOL Network. David is also an actor, okay, appearing in Love Is on OWN and Bobcat Goldthwait's Misfit and Monsters on TV. He co-hosts the hilarious sports comedy podcast called 4th and 10, as well as a political comedy podcast called The Confused Caucus. In 2022, David was selected as an Arts and Social Justice Fellow at Emory University, in addition to a 2022 Climate Comedy Cohort. That's not easy to say. Created and directed by Generation 180 and the Center for Media and Social Impact's Good Laugh Initiative. Really, really excited to introduce this. Also, he is my partner. We host a show called Good Night, which is coming back at Bateco in Grant Park, July 28th. And as you can see, as you will see, David is not the former U.S. Senator. So, with no further ado, please start clapping right now. Start clapping right now as I bring to the stage your friend and mine, not your U.S. Senator, David Perdue.
Keep it going for Don and yourselves. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It is too early for me to be doing this. I mean, honest, on my ride here, I got mad. I was like, what? creatives decided to get together in the morning? Who hates us? And then I realized, there's a difference between creatives and artists. And the difference is what we think morning is. Creatives, y'all like, oh, we up. I'm an artist. I used to run a show at 1 o'clock in the morning every Saturday. And this is earlier somehow. I know technically that's not true, but I ain't never performed when the sun not, gone. So this is a lot for me. Man, I am very excited to be here. I didn't even get coffee. This is gonna be a good time. Real quick, I like to ask before I start doing comedy. How much did y'all pay for these tickets? Throw that out real quick. Just how much was the price? $0 free, cool. That's the show you gonna get. No, because sometimes people like $50, and I was like, I gotta tighten up. But when it's free, I'm gonna feel good. Anytime I do a show and I see knees, I'm like, I don't have to be my best. It's knees out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to decency put on pants. It's knees out. I don't even have my notes here. This is just a timer to let me know when I'm done. If I'm being completely honest, I have 8 more minutes of me figuring out what I was telling them before. I was like, I don't even know. My brain don't even know how to do comedy. I'm looking, it say 9:15. I'm like, that better be PM, and I know it's not, and it's messing with my brain. Reverie. I'm glad somebody said it out loud. I was mispronouncing it all week. Reverie. And then Don said it, and I was like, that's what it was. So I'm excited. Reverie. The state of, like, being in a daydream state. I feel like you have to do things to get in that state. You know, to do things to get you opened up to that type of thing. New things often help you get there. I did a new thing not too long ago. I went camping. I like how there's a woo and then there's a chuckle, and and both of those are appropriate responses. I went camping because I don't know if you know this. I know some white people. I'm an ally, and I know a few. And they were like, "Hey, you want to go to California and go camping in Kings Canyon and out there?" And I was like, "No, I don't want to go." And then they were like, "Well, we have some money." And then I was like, "No, no, not gonna get me to go out there." And here's what happened. It was a bearded white man. He was like, "Hey, come with me to the woods." And I was like, "I don't know, bearded white man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen too many movies and history books." And then I started asking him questions. I'm sorry, I'm paying attention to the world. And then I started asking him questions, and he was like, "Oh, you sound like my wife." And I was like, "Who's your wife?" And he sent me a picture, and it was he had a black wife. And I was like, "I'll be fine. I'll be fine. He'll protect me with his last dying breath. If you injure or something happens to your black friend in the woods, your marriage is over. Like, you need me to have a good time." So I was like, "Sure, I'll go." And I went out there. There was a group of white people. They was like, "Hey, man, before you go out there, you gotta go to." I needed equipment because I never been camping before. I was like, "You need equipment," and I was like, "Cool. Where you get that at?" Because I ain't never been camping. And they were like, "You gotta go to REI," and I was like, "Finish the sentence." I didn't know what an REI was. I never been inside. Anybody clap it up if you've been inside an REI. Oh, all of you just have adventurous lives. I didn't know what that was. I literally thought they didn't finish the sentence. So I Googled, I was like, "Where's the REI?" And where I was like, it's not, I'm on a Zoom call with these very kind white people, and I was like, REI. And I Googled it, and they said it was 25 miles away from where I was. And I said that in the Zoom, and bless their heart. This is when white people are wonderful people. Wonderful. And a lot of times the allyship is dope, but sometimes y'all care too much, and here's what I mean. I said it's 25 miles away from me, and everybody in that Zoom call just gasped. "You mean to tell me there's not an REI within 25 miles of where you are?" I was like, "Nah." And then to every one of them was like, "Dave, that's racism afoot. The fact that you don't have the resources of an REI near you is preposterous." And I was like, "Nah, that sounds like a good business plan if you ask me. I don't know what I would do if REI was in Riverdale. Like, what we gonna do with that?" I didn't know what it was. I walked in there dressed like a young black man, is what I dressed like. And I'm saying that because ain't too many of them was walking in there. And I remember I walked in there, and I was trying to that gave me a list of stuff to figure out, and I was, to buy it. So I was looking. I didn't know what I was looking for, if I'm being honest, and I'm looking through for 30 minutes just trying to figure out what any of this stuff is. And I'm just frustrated. And I'm being honest, this is going to sound bad coming from me, but I have never wanted racism to show up more than when I was in the REI. I was like, where is the old white woman to follow me around this place to ask me if I need some help? Where are you? You see, help. No racism in REI. I was pissed. Just good-natured people. What are you doing? Finally, it was a very nice white woman. She came up to me, and she was like, do you need any help? Ma'am, you know I do. You know I do. I'm wearing Jordans. I got, my clothes don't stink. Like, I've never been in the woods. What are you doing? And bless her heart, she was so kind, and she was like, what do you need? And I was like, well, I need some clothes. And this wasn't racist, but it was weird. When she goes, all right, well, I'm gonna take you to this section. And then she was like, a lot of cool people like these clothes. And what she was saying was black people without saying black people. And the reason why I know that, because it was the only section with cardboard printing out black people in clothes. Like it was the black people go in the woods too section. You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, look at these cool clothes. A lot of cool people wear these cool clothes. And I was like, man, you can say black. You could just say black. And she knew she had helped me as far as she could. Because I was just like, I guess I'm wear these are the only clothes I will wear. Everything else in here look already dirty. I don't want to wear it. And then she was like, do you need anything else? And she's like, I got somebody to help you. And it was one black dude that worked there. And she found him. She's like, help. I used all my moves on him. So he came over. He was nice. And then the first thing I asked him, I said, hey, be honest with me. Did any of these shoes come in Jordans? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, look, I'm just trying to be drippy, okay? If I'm gonna be in the woods, you know what I mean? I wanna look right. And he was like, no, there's not. And then he gave me he was real helpful. He was like, man, you're gonna enjoy yourself. And, we sparked this friendship, but really, I was like, you got social media? He's like, yeah, man, hit me up anytime. And I was like, I will, because when I go in these woods, you're the first person I'm gonna call in case anything goes wrong, right? So we had a good time. I got some stuff. I go up to the front. No racism had showed his head at this point. It was a good day in America, right? And then, I'm not gonna say this was racist, but it felt racist. There was a nice young white dude working in the front, and he goes, hey, this is your first time camping? And I was like, yeah, man. He's bagging my stuff. And he was like, yeah, this is your first time camping. I was like, yeah, man. He's like, can I give you a tip? Oh, I'm welcoming all tips. I don't know anything about the outside. You know what I mean? Please give me something that might potentially save my life while I'm out here in these woods. And he's bagging my stuff, and he has the paper bag, and he puts my pants in the paper bag, and he looks up at me. He goes, hey, man, here's a tip. This is a good tip. And I'm so ready. He goes, you see this paper bag? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you can use this bag to help start a fire. This man told me that paper is good for fires. That was the tip. I'm an adult man. I'm 36. I've been a mischievous kid. I've set stuff on fire a lot of my youth. For him to think I lived 36 years on this earth and had no idea that paper is good for fire, I was like, I'm not going to say this is racist, but it feels racist that you just think, I don't know about fire. I was out in Sequoia National Park. Anybody been out there to see those trees? More specific, any black people ever been out there to see them trees? We got to go out there. They haven't seen too many of us out there. I could tell. They were like, what are you doing here? I had to tell jokes in front of trees, and that was weird. That was weird. Money make you do strange things. I was like, why am I telling y'all? Can't even hear me. So I had to investigate stuff for trees. I had to do research. One of the things I found interesting was that those big old trees were federally protected by Abraham Lincoln in 1864. I don't think y'all heard what I said. I'm standing here, I'm doing research. Abraham Lincoln, 1864, was like, we have got to protect these magnificent, beautiful trees. Famously, Abraham Lincoln in 1865, a whole year later, was like, I think these black people need to be free. And that is why I don't like history. Because sometimes you read into stuff and it ruin your whole childhood. I don't know Abraham Lincoln wasn't perfect, but I assumed he thought black people needed freedom before trees, and that kind of hurt me a little bit. What a way to end a set. I started off so great. I did. We all felt it. It was like, oh, he's doing it, and he ended on a bad tree joke that didn't work when the sun was down. Why do I think it was gonna work when it's morning? Because I'm gonna tell you why. It's too early for me to be. Y'all shouldn't even see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is news. All right. Anyway, my name is David Perdue. You guys have been an amazing and wonderful audience. Thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah, please keep it going for a dime.
Keep those applause going for David Perdue. I love that. I was thinking about that. I was like, I too have not been to an REI, and so yeah, look at that. There's goals for this year. Goals for this year. I love it. I love it. Again, you can see David Perdue. You can connect with him. I think your socials are Do or Die on Instagram. DUEORDIE. So yes, Do or Die. You can connect with David. So please give another round of applause for David Perdue. I love that. I love that. So for those who do not know, yes, this Creative Mornings used to happen every single month at the end of the month. And so now what we do is kind of do 1 month we do in person in the morning, and then we also do what is called Creative After Hours. And so that is where we meet. Yes, we famously booked David for the wrong thing. Just because we're devious like that. That's just what we like to do. But yes, so for the month of July, we'll be having a Creative After Hours event where you show up and actually we do something together. Yes, so you don't get to just sit here and watch what happens from the stage. This is where we get hands-on and we do something. The theme for July will be treasure. Okay, and we are back at the Be Nice House, which is in Old Fourth Ward. For those of you that are new, Creative After Hours is a small group experiential event where we get more hands-on. We have a limited number of tickets, so please stay tuned for the newsletter and our socials for more details and ticket information. Would love to have you come out for that. How many people have enjoyed this space where we are right now? Let's give a round of applause for Dad's Garage. Absolutely. A big thank you for our venue partner for hosting this morning event. This has been, Dad's Garage was founded in 1995, okay? It is an award-winning nonprofit theater company that brings over 30,000 people a year right here. And they serve a younger demographic, not typically served by traditional arts organizations, firmly have established themselves as the gateway drug to the arts, which I love. They are dedicated to building a new generation of arts consumers. There's a big weekend of shows coming up at the end of next month, end of July, in which Dad's Garage will be celebrating their 28th birthday. Give a round of applause. That is older than some of you out here. We have shows here on July 27th, 28th, and 29th, all with a different theme. The weekend is also a fundraising event for the upcoming season. So all the promotions, any of those things that you would like to stay in touch with, please check out the website, socials, all that good stuff. So again, another round of applause for our venue partner. And so I am excited to introduce this morning's speaker, Mark Kendall, okay, our speaker of the month. He is an award-winning comedian, filmmaker, and educator. Along with his production partner, Bill Worley, he is the co-founder of Cool Productions, where they use comedy to encourage civic engagement. Their videos were named Best Reason to Laugh by Atlanta Magazine in 2021. Mark Kendall comedy video channels have accumulated millions of views, and several of his films have been screened at the American Black Film Festival. He's toured nationally with one-person show, The Magic Negro and Other Blackness. originally produced right here at Dad's Garage Theater and the Alliance Theater. While studying film at Northwestern, he completed the Comedy Central Chris Rock Summer School program, where he pitched jokes at The Daily Show and The Colbert Report. Mark was named Best Professional Funny Man by Creative Loafing in 2015 and was the reader's pick for Best Comedian in Creative Loafing in 2029. You can follow him further at Mark Kendall Comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could start clapping right now. Start clapping right now. Left to right, front to back. Make some noise as we welcome to the stage Mark Kendall.
What's up, y'all? It's good to see y'all. Oh yeah, that's me. The thing. All right, so I look very happy in that picture, and I was having a good time. What you don't see on the other side is that it's a bar very late at night with like 3 or 4 people, and I'm like, please connect with me, So it's like, yeah. But it was a good time. It was a good time. Very excited to be here to talk about Reverie for this month's theme. And when I think about Reverie, I think about having the ability to daydream, being in a flow state where you're not really thinking. Things are just coming to you. You're coming up with all these amazing ideas. And so I was trying to think about the different ways that we can look at Reverie, the different ways that we might experience Reverie, the different ways that other people have tried to break down what Reverie really is, So I was trying to think of ways to do this. So I got a couple of ideas. And so I brought my friend Theodora, brilliant musician. Give it up for Theodora, y'all. And so I was trying to think of a time in our musical history when someone was able to use music to explain what it's like to get to that point when you are experiencing Reverie, when you're in that mode. So I want to take us back in time. So Theodora, can you give us some music that does just that takes us back in time? Excellent. All right. So we're in 2023 right now, but we're not going to stay here for very long, So what's going to happen is we're going to float up into the sky, past the skyscrapers, past the stars, past the atmosphere, and then we're going to give the earth a spin, you know what I mean? And it's going to start rotating real fast, and it's going to get to 1999, and then it's going to stop. All right, so now here we are, and wherever you were in 1999, or maybe you weren't here just yet, something very important happened. There was a song that was put out by the late, great DMX. And the song was called Party Up. And it was a very important song when we're thinking about how we think about Reverie. Because in the song, DMX, in the main refrain, he goes, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. Y'all know the scripture, all right? It's very important because I feel like he breaks it all down with that one very simple sentence. He talks about losing his mind, right? Just being in a place where it's just like he's not thinking no judgment. But how does he get there? He gives us the clues. He lays it out for us, and he does this with punctuation, all right? Because when you examine that sentence closer, he goes, up in here, question mark, all right? ... up in here, period. You know what I'm saying? So up in here, question mark, he goes, up in here, ... up in here, period. It goes down, downward inflection, implying a period, all right? Which means that it is in the ellipses that DMX realized that it's in fact here that he's supposed to lose his mind, all right? I think that's very significant for a number of reasons. So it is through losing his mind that he, in fact, gains a sense of self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? When he loses his mind, you know what I'm saying? When he finds out where he's supposed to be, he can act a fool, you know what I'm saying? He can lose his cool, He can go all out. What does it mean to do these things, Now, sometimes losing your cool might be like, hey, don't make me lose my cool. I don't want to throw bows or whatever it is. But to me, when I think about losing one's cool, it's like you're not tethered to how people are seeing you. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, you're dropping the cool, right? Acting a fool. It's not that you're foolish, that you are a fool. You're just acting like a fool. You don't care about how you come across. These are these vulnerable things that we need to be to reach a state of reverie where we can really just truly be ourselves, all right? So DMX explained it to us musically But since we're all gathered here together and y'all seem like very nice folks, I figured we might explore this physically with one another, all right? So at this point, if I could get the house lights up, if that's all right. Thank you so much. It's great to see you all. You all look very nice. You look great. So we're gonna do an exercise with each other, all right? So what's gonna happen is we're gonna play rock, paper, scissors, but we're gonna do it a little differently than maybe you've done it in the past, all right? So this is how it's gonna work, all right? You're gonna play rock, paper, scissors, and I'm gonna break down the rules real quick. So you walk up to someone, you're gonna play rock, paper, scissors. It's very simple. You go rock, paper, scissors, shoot, all right? Rock beats paper, paper beats, oh wait, no it doesn't. Rock beats scissors, scissor beats paper, paper beats rock. You're gonna play this person best 2 out of 3, all right? So Shannon, hello, it's great to see you. So Shannon, if we were playing rock, paper, scissors, you win best 2 out of 3. Then I become your cheerleader, Shannon. And as I'm gonna find someone else for you to play rock, paper, scissors with, and as I'm trying to find someone to play Shannon, I'm gonna be like, woo, Shannon's the best, yeah. You need to lose your cool, DMX demanded it, all right? No one is gonna go against the word of DMX here, all right? You are gonna be the best cheerleader for this person that you possibly can, all right? So then, let's say, Shannon, you face another person. Let's say the two of y'all square off in rock, paper, scissors, and Shannon, you win again. Now we are both cheering for Shannon. Woo! Shannon's the best. Act a fool. You are not foolish, but you are gonna be acting a fool like DMX commanded it 24 years ago, all right? Any questions about what's supposed to go down? All right, great. So we're gonna play some rock, paper, scissors, and begin. Who's over there? Oh, we got it. Who's taking on Shannon? Someone over here? I think we got our final two. Do we have our final two? Is this the final two? This is the final two. Y'all make all the noise. Yeah, make all the noise. These two. Who's the final two? Who's the final two? Make all the noise. Make all the noise. Yeah. Shannon, 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 Shannon. Y'all give it up for yourselves. Give us a. Y'all, DMX will be proud of us, you know? Yeah. But that was amazing, and the reason I like this game so much when we play together, when we're talking about something like Reverie, is the idea that anything can be possible. So with this game, rock, paper, scissors, we all won. You know, like Shannon, was the victor at the end, but Shannon's victory was everyone's victory, you know? And when we're coming together, when we're flowing, when we're brainstorming with one another, having the ability to think about anything being possible, you know, imagining the futures that we want to see, being able to be in that place is really important. Also, the thing too, there was a baby in the audience. The baby didn't cry. That was fantastic, you know? Yeah. So, you know, we've explored what Reverie might look like musically. We've explored what it might look like, you know, musically, but like visually, what might that look like? You know, sometimes it doesn't look the way that we might expect, you know? So when I was trying to think, all right, what's a cinematic example of someone experiencing Reverie, you know? And the example that came to mind in my head was Nick Cage in the movie National Treasure 2, all right? Yeah. And some of you might be like, yeah, other people are probably confused, you know, and that's okay. But to understand this moment, I will explain how he exemplified Reverie in this moment, but I just need to provide context so we can all be on the same page. So National Treasure 2 is a sequel to a movie called National Treasure 1. Not National Treasures, National Treasure. And they found that one treasure in the first movie where Nick Cage, his team of treasure hunters, they used their knowledge of American history to find the national treasure. That movie made a lot of money, so they're like, there are more out there, you know? So then for the sequel, they're like, hey, Nick Cage, you made us a lot of money, so for the sequel, National Treasure 2, you can just do what you want, you know? And so if you've never seen that, if you don't know what that looks like, if you don't know what that means for Nick Cage to be in his element, what that means is for the entirety of National Treasure 2, Nick Cage is just like improvising these long stream of consciousness monologues, all right, that do not always follow any kind of direct line of logic that you might be able to see right away, you know? It's really something to behold, you know, but he's in his element. He never doubts himself, you know, like a typical scene in National Treasure 2, right? Nick Cage, his team of treasure hunters, you know, they're like in some cavern, dark, deep cavern, looking for the national treasure. They'll come across a clue, you know, left behind from someone years ago. It'll be like an old scroll. And what happens a lot in the National Treasure movies, there's some sort of riddle left behind that's very cryptic and hard to understand. So it'll say something like, the founding fathers always went left. And you'll see it in the movie. And Nick Cage, his team of treasure hunters, they're like, what's this mean? The founding fathers always went left. What's that even mean? I don't know what it means. And then Nick Cage, he'll pop out of nowhere and be like, we gotta go to London, you know? And you're like, what, Nick Cage? And then the people acting with him in the movie, you're like, what, Nick Cage? You know? And then he's like, oh, I didn't know I said that out loud, you know? And then he starts trying to backtrack, trying to explain like what he meant. And he's like, oh, you know, the clue left behind the founding fathers, it said the founding fathers always went left. Therefore, we got to go to London. And people are still not understanding him, you know? And so then he starts to paint a picture. He's like, oh, the founding fathers always went left. What's the opposite of left? That's a clue. Left, right. You know what I'm saying? You got left, you got right. Those are two directions. You know what I'm saying? Left and right. I know all the directions. Left, right, up, down, left, left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, start. That's a video game cheat code. I like video games. Does anybody else like video games? I remember I used to play video games. I would play Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis. What American icon rapped about having a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis at the same time? Notorious B.I.G. 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 Those are all letters. Where do all letters come from? Sesame Street, Sesame Street, Sesame Street, Sesame Street. Jim Henson. Jim Henson is the Muppet Master, but the word master rhymes with the word blaster. What's a blaster? Someone that shoots things like bullets or water. Who shoots water? Squirtle, Squirtle. Squirtle is a Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon is Pikachu. Pikachu ends in the letter U, as in you, Soldier Boy. Crank that, crank that, crank that. What do you crank? Machines, machines, machinery. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution started in London, therefore we got to go to London. And that's the whole movie. That's the whole movie. Yeah. Yeah. That's the whole movie. And you watch it and it's like, hey, that person's experiencing reverie, but it's like, we cannot do that. We cannot do that the way that Nick Cage did that. This man was in Buckingham Palace having these like moments connecting all these things. I would not be allowed to do that, you know what I'm saying? But we do need to be able to find a way to create spaces for us to experience reverie, you know? And so what that means is like what you all just did earlier, which is creating a system of support, you know what I'm saying? Being excited for one another and their successes, not judging yourself or others, like DMX taught us in the song back in 1999, you know? And so I feel like moments when we experience reverie, when we're improvising one another, it has all kinds of benefits, you know? So it's just like when you're in that period, when you're not judging things, it goes much faster. In addition to feeling good, it feels good to have people be your cheerleader and celebrate you, win or lose, you know? The other thing that's great about collaborating in an improvisational way, you know, when we've created a space where we can all act like Nick Cage if we want to, you know? When that support has been set, when that support's been laid out, you work so much faster. I teach, you know, brainstorming with folks, and what I'll always do is like, I'll give them a prompt. I'll be like, hey, y'all, this group of 5, 6 people, just go out there and come up with a product that could be anything in the world, and then come back to me, right? And people are very nice. They come up with amazing ideas, and I'm like, okay, great. Do that again, but this next time, just acknowledge what the person said first, celebrate what they said, and then use that to come up with whatever you say next. And they do the same thing, and they usually do it in half the time, you know? And so just in terms about not so much just being efficient, but just being able to celebrate each other in a faster way, you just come up with that many more ideas, you know? But the thing is, it's just like, things is rough. The world can be tough. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people are in this mode of reverie, you know, because it can be scary for some folks. You're improvising, you're making things up, you're imagining new, bright futures. That's really cool. And some people are like, no, I don't want that. I want to get rid of affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to talk about race or racism in schools. You know what I'm saying? They didn't listen to DMX, clearly, you know? But instead, though, what I think is great about reverie, and then by extension comedy, is that comedy can be a way that we can stay in that state of reverie, you know? Because it's just like, it's tough to be in a place where you're just like brainstorming, no worries, because we got worries, that's how it is. But when you introduce comedy into the place, into the space of what you're talking about, comedy brings levity to something, you know what I'm saying? It can make you deal with something for a little bit longer, right? Or if there's something that you're trying to do together as a group, getting people to vote, you know what I'm saying? Trying to motivate people to take action. If we infuse whatever we're talking about with joy and laughter, you know, when you're talking to someone, trying to communicate with someone, that empowers them, you know what I'm saying? When you're cheering for someone, when you're celebrating someone, that empowers them, and that then drives them to action as opposed to, you know, remaining stagnant, you know? So that's something that I really love to do, you know? I'm with Cool Productions. I'm the co-founder, along with Bill, who's in the audience. Y'all give it up for Bill in the audience. Bill. All right, cool, we done. Bill, yeah. But that's a lot of what we do, right? We use comedy to encourage civic engagement, fight for racial justice, community building. These are the things that we really enjoy doing. So we get to partner with amazing organizations in Atlanta using comedy to encourage those things. We got to work with Fair Count once, right? And they're like, Fair Count came to us and they're like, yo, redistricting's happening right now, but when you talk about redlining, it makes people sad because redlining sucks, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like if you use comedy to talk about the ways that people can participate in fair districting and see their communities empowered, you do that through comedy, it creates a very different picture, But the way that we get to those places, partnering with folks, is talking to them about what they're excited about and imagining futures that we would want to see, seeing what we would like to see. And that's what's so fun to me about comedy. So I want to do something with Theodora real quick, and I'd also love someone to help me out. So is there anyone out there that who said had never been to Creative Mornings before? Just raise your hand. Awesome. Would you like to join me on stage real quick? Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Make some noise. Hello, welcome. Fantastic. You can stand right here. Hello. What is your name?
Jackie.
Everyone make some noise for Jackie. Yeah. All right, so Jackie, we're gonna do a fun improv game with the amazing Theodora. So what we're gonna do together is we're gonna tell some sort of story about something that's fun and cool. We're gonna make it up on the spot together. And so what's gonna happen is, I'll start telling part of the story, and what's gonna happen is I'll gesture towards you, and you just say whatever word comes to your mind, whatever it is, try to lock into that spirit of reverie or whatever. And whatever it is, we're gonna make that part of the story. I'm gonna celebrate you and we're gonna tell a really fun story.
Okay.
So let's just practice real quick just to kind of like get in that mode, So for example, I was just like, oh man, I'm so hungry, I could use a bite of a
Horse.
A horse. Give it up for Jackie, a bite of a horse. You can eat horses, it's true. Not all people do, but you can do it, and we did in that story just now. Or say, for example, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty, I would love a glass of river, because water is in the river. A lot of people drink from the river, that's great. All right. So that's fantastic. You're very, very good at this. You're excellent. All right, so next up, let's just figure out what we want to tell a story about. I'm so sorry, baby. You're gonna miss out on the best story of all time, but we'll see you later. Farewell. That's a cool baby. So we just kind of need some sort of inspiration from the audience. So we're gonna tell a story about something. So it could be a location, it could be a topic. What's something that's been giving you joy recently, whatever that is? What was this over here? Fireflies, excellent, great. Well, we both know a story about fireflies, and we're gonna tell that right now. So Theodora, can you play the Firefly song? That Firefly song we always play? All right. Once upon a time, there was a firefly named Bingo the Firefly. The reason Bingo the Firefly got their name is because they'd always show up to the firefly parties at the right time. They were the life of the party. People would be like, Bingo, that's who we needed to see. Like say, anytime you needed someone, if you were a firefly and you needed someone to help you find like flowers, or if you were a firefly and you needed to find a place to rest when it was raining, Bingo would always help you. Bingo was really good at
Changing colors. Y'all
don't know this, but Bingo was the type of firefly that, when fireflies make their fire, they could like turn different colors. So go from like gold to purple to yellow to green. They were a flying rave, so wherever they went, they were a party. And so like every single day, Bingo was like changing colors, making everybody happy, until one day Bingo came home and they saw that something was missing. Something was missing in Bingo's room, and it was his diaper. Bingo had a diaper, and it's completely normal, and it's all right. And so this particular diaper that Bingo had, Bingo hid like their social security card in that diaper, because Bingo knew that no one would be going to look in there, especially fireflies, because fireflies don't really mess with diapers like that, So then Bingo had to set out to find their missing diaper. So they knew right away the first place they were gonna fly to and try and look was
Christina's house.
Christina's house. That was Bingo's ex-girlfriend. They were still cool. They were still cool and everything like that. But Bingo was gonna show up and be like, hey, you know, I lost my social security card. I know we haven't talked as much. We're still cool and everything. You know what I mean? Also, you know, I have this extra CVS coupon if you want it. I know you like Aveeno products, and this is for 30% off Aveeno. I just come in peace. Have you seen the diaper? Have you seen the diaper, Christina? And Christina said,
No.
no, I ain't seen it. But I'll help you look, you know? And so then Christina joined Bingo on this search looking for the missing diaper. And the whole time that they're traveling, they're catching up. They remembered that they were like good friends even before the relationship didn't work out. And so then the next place Bingo went to was
Christina's current boyfriend's house.
Christina's current boyfriend's house. And Bingo was like, all right, we can go. And this current boyfriend was named Daryl. So they show up at Daryl's house. Really nice house. Oh, what'd you say? Oh, sorry.
He was wearing the diaper.
Daryl was wearing the diaper. Damn. So Bingo's like, yo, bruh, you wearing my Daryl. So Bingo was like to Daryl, yo, you're wearing my diaper. And Daryl was like,
It helps me change my colors.
it helps me change my colors. And it was in that moment that Bingo realized that Daryl admired Bingo. Bingo was flying around all this time, changing colors, not really even realizing what made Bingo special. Meanwhile, Daryl, even though like he had a much nicer house, he was with Christina now, which is cool. And that was fantastic. That he was happy for Christina and Daryl, you know. But this whole time, Daryl was like, "Yo, I see you," you know. And Bingo was like, "Yo, I appreciate it. You ain't have to steal my diaper like that. I got other diapers you could have borrowed, or we could have had a conversation. In fact, here's my contact info. Please just contact me next time you think about breaking into my home and stealing my diaper, you know." And so they exchanged information. It was cool, you know. And so they had this wonderful connection. And Daryl said,
I don't want Christina anymore.
Daryl said, I don't want Christina anymore. And Christina's like, yo, I'm right here. Like, why'd you tell Bingo that? What is going on? Like, it got awkward for a little bit. And then Daryl was like, yo, you want my social security? You want your social security card back? And Bingo's like, no, I don't want, you keep that, you know. Bingo and Christina left. They're like, yo, that got weird quick. And but I'm glad that we were able to connect on this afternoon, finding my diaper. And now at least I know my social security card is. I just wanted to know where it was. And Christina, it was great to reconnect with you in this way on this day. And thank you for helping me remember or remind myself about what made me unique and special. And I was reminded about all the great things that make you wonderful. And so then that was the end of their day. And finally they're like, oh, let's go hang out at one final place, which was
The grocery store.
the grocery store, where Bingo bought some more diapers. And scene. Y'all give it up for Jackie. That was amazing. That was amazing. Jackie, 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 Jackie. Y'all give it up for Theodore on the keys. Yeah. That was so fun, y'all. Yo, it was great to tell that story with you. You have amazing ideas. It was so fun to collaborate in that way. And it was so great to spend time with y'all talking about Reverie. That's all I got. I'm done. Appreciate you.
Y'all would give her another round of applause for Mark Kendall. So many things we learned about, Rochambeau and lightning bugs and a crazy twist with Daryl. I did not see that coming. We definitely want to give some love, some extra love for Mark Kendall. So we have a little gift for you that we want to. Oh, okay, here we are right here. Absolutely. There we go. Thank you so much. Mark Kendall influences everything. Atlanta influences everything. We want to give this little bag for this gentleman right here. Give another round of applause for your Reverie speaker for the month of June. Typically, we would allow time for Q&A, but we're pressed a little bit with time. But I think, Mark, you can hang around for a little bit and answer any questions that someone might have. Please give another round of applause for David Perdue as well. This happens. Please stay connected with us for Atlanta, for the Atlanta chapter of Creative Mornings. Again, that is on IG, Atlanta_CM. You can stay connected as well for our July Creative After Hours event, in which, is David's time, so he can show up and be there with us. But thank you so much for coming out. I think we probably have some extra breakfast tacos. You should probably get those as well. My name is Adon Bean. Give another round of applause to yourself, to Dad's Garage, and these wonderful volunteers who have helped make this possible. Thank you so much. We'll see you next month.